Friday afternoon. I want to do a honing video because I've got a very nice razor from a very kind gentleman. I got this from Alan from Taunton, and it came via eBay, and I couldn't believe my luck. This is a very nice Gevoso. This is in fact a 28, whatever that sign means. It's a 28 Gevoso, German 6/8, very nice razor. Just needed a little bit of restoration. It had some staining on the blade, no nicks, so I'm hoping to get away with doing a quick refurb and a quick honing on the trusty 3K nanoir. But anyway, I also thought while I was working this morning on other things as well, I came across a rather nice American, which I rather like, an American razor, again roughly a 6/8, but this is by the Columbia Cutlery Company, made in USA. I've restored it, but not a huge amount. It had a fair bit of scratching on it, so I haven't gone mad. But the reason that I've probably got it cheap, I can't remember. Broken scale. Now, it was interesting to me as a lot of the American razors use brass rivets, and my good friend Anthony said, why don't I do perhaps a word or two sometime about peening? In other words, peening over these pivot rivets. So this little blade I've taken obviously from this smashed scale, and I was very cheeky. I think you'll probably laugh at me, but I had a Chevette, the usual stainless steel horror. These are the scales from the Chevette, and I thought, as the dimensions were the same, I'd actually put this together with this blade. So it's got the Columbia Cutlery Company blade in this little Chevette. But what I used was a brass pin, and I just thought I'd mention about peening very quickly. Very quickly. This is my peening hammer, and this one is a family heirloom. This one belonged to my grandfather and is issued to him because he was in the AID. That's the Air Ministry branch of the War Department in the Second World War. This was issued to him, and it's got the ... V for victory. And it's also got, you won't see it on this, but believe me, it's got A.M for Air Ministry with the crown above it and the date 1940. So this has been in continuous use from my grandfather and from myself for many decades. This is the right size of little ball peen. You don't want a great big ball peen, you want a small ball peen. And all you need to do is, when you've selected your pin, usually they come with collars, but this one I used a piece of brass rod, as it's quite common to have brass on American razor pivots. So lay it on a very hard steel surface, preferably, my favourite is a nice size bench vise. Yeah, I've got a big bench vise, so I'll put it on the big bench vise. The trick is, if you're going to peen over a plain brass head like this, try and round it first. By rounding it, when you peen it like that, you're doing rotary movements, and these little rotary blows will easily polish out, but you're actually doming the head of the brass. So once it's domed, it will be a lot neater to look at. If you whack it hard, there's always a chance you're going to split the scale. So never use old Bakelite style scales for doing peening unless you're really quite competent. This is modern plastic. You can beat the living Watsits. It's not going to split. But old plastic is the very devil. So again, all the way around the edge of the rivet, multiple tappings, you'll slowly spread the head of the rivet out, causing the blade to be clenched properly. And it should stay like that, just sinking. That's it. So that one, hopefully I might have time today to put the edge right on this one as well. This is quite a lovely little razor actually. I like American steel, I really do. I've got a couple more over here. Allow me just to throw them in your direction, gents. These came from the States with a horrendous postal charge, but that is a Genko. So this one is one of my favourite makes, Genko, which is of course, when it says Genko, it's the later version of the Geneva Razor Company of New York. So this is a Genko. This one came in this condition from the post. I haven't taken the pits out. They're only light pits. It's going to be very nice as it is. Incredibly thin blade, beautiful little razor. The Genko sign on this one is very, very clear. Hopefully you can see it. And it has beautiful celluloid fake wood grain grips. I couldn't resist it. Didn't come with a box, cost very little, as the post did cost quite a lot. Likewise, here's another one which at some point will make a lovely little 3/8 trimming razor. It's had a lot of wear, but this one is the Genko Old Dutch. And this one again, only a few quid, a few dollars, apart from the postal. But the scales are absolutely beautiful. Again, simulated wood with nickel silver, very nice nickel silver end caps. So even though it's only small, you should be able to shave with anything once you've got into straight razors. So I will shave with this at some point. Anyway, let's get on. So let's put the American ones down for now. Let's do the important stuff. I've already used the Sharpie to mark both the blade edge and the spine, so we can see if there's any nasty warps. I don't like warps. Anyway, let's try and get a... Won't need this either, my trusty hammer. I've used this personally for 50 years and it ain't gonna wear out. Hammers don't wear out. Anyway, let's make sure that our stone is nice and flat. We'll use the usual 4000 grit. Get a nice little lather going up as well. What lather am I talking about? Slurry. That'll do nicely. I did flatten this the other day. It's silly to flatten it every single time. It's not necessary. Ooh, that is sticking. Yeah, that'll do. Wash the slurry off. And we're going to go straight and check the geometry. And I will leave you all in peace very quickly. And I'll just work on. Anyway, here it is. This is the Genko being checked. I'd say it's pretty good. Let's have a look. Yeah, pretty good, pretty consistent. Though there is a slight warp. But we can live with that. Yes, there is a slight warp. So, I don't know if you can see this, chaps, but both at the nose and at the heel, you can see silver shiny bits. So that means it's obviously low in the middle, high at both ends. As I suspected, on the other side, high in the middle. But as the blade itself is happy, there's a good touch all along, so I'm not worried. It's the blade that counts, not the spine. The spine is merely an indicator of how bad your actual problems might be. In this case, I'm perfectly happy. I'm looking at a good touch mark. It's only it's probably a little bit more than a slight warp on the spine, but the edge is what you're shaving with, not the spine, and that seems to be absolutely fine. So let's just see how far off I am. I love doing swooping movements like this. There's a tiny bit of very slight chipping on the nose of this edge, so by swooping and putting just a little bit more pressure towards the nose, we should cure it. Let's see how far out I am. Yeah, lovely. Oh, haha! Yeah, that's Gevoso6. It hadn't had a lot of use, this particular razor, and the last gentleman that used it hadn't dinged the edge or corroded it. So it was probably a shaveable razor when I got it only the other day. This is just going to make sure that it's a very shaveable razor. Can I make a quick call out to some of my pals? Obviously, I've mentioned Anthony, so the peening brigade for Anthony. But the great masters of assembling razors, of course, Glenn Mercurio, Lynn Abrahams. Also a little call out, of course, to those with a magnificent taste in razors. Being, well, for one, being Sean, he's getting along. He's very famous now, isn't he? Well done, Sean. And of course, I've got to mention long haul tanker, Leon. James Sustainer Shave. He's very, very good at tuning blades. Very good indeed. He's quite the master on Swedish steel. Obviously, I got to mention Dapper Shaves, Jax, who is, again, a master blaster. There's too many. There's just too many. I'm very, very, very poor at remembering everybody when I do a call out. In particular, I forgot the other day, the master of the stones, in my opinion, the master of the stones, Devon Jackson. So, sorry, Devon, brain's going. Anyway, Gary up in Nottingham is a source of great teaching for me. Mark Adams, who is again up in Skegness. So all these people need mentioning more often. Please watch their YouTube channel. Otherwise, we won't grow the field, which is all my field's about. Which is all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to gain respectability amongst shaving people and get away from those awful stick things with safety blades on them. Ugh. We must get back to using proper steel. Anyway, chaps, enough of this. I'm going to refine this and get this so I can shave with it tomorrow. And I hope that Alan in Taunton will watch it. Thank you so much, Alan. This also came with a very nice box. The wrong box? It doesn't matter. It's a German razor box. It's a Dawn of Solingen. And this, of course, is a Gevoso of Solingen. Doesn't matter. I'm going to refine this from bevel set 3K all the way down to, I might give myself a bit of a shock today. I might even put it on a black Arkansas. I haven't done a natural black Arkansas edge in ages. I'm not going to bore you to tears by doing it straight in front of you, but believe me, this is going to be a very nice razor. Okay, chaps, I mean, basically that's it for now. I'll shave with it tomorrow. I hope this was vaguely amusing. If so, do give it a like. It helps us grow the field. Give it a like, do subscribe. I'm going to shave with this tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Bye for now.